Good evening. Probably this is the best time to have been born in this great country of India. More wealth will be created probably in the next 10 years as compared to the last 75 years. You, as young Indians, we all as Indians should be very, very proud that India is growing at a rapid pace. It's becoming a country where we get world recognition. If you look at the Indian economy today, the Indian economy is growing at a very, very rapid pace. It's growing at a rapid pace. There is a lot of urbanization happening. And most important, what is really happening is we've become the consumption capital of the world. What do you really mean by consumption capital of the world? You look at brand after brand, or probably company after company all over the world. They want to come to India, set up shop in India. Why? Because there is a big consumption boom. Who are the people who are consuming? It is the young people that are consuming, it is the aged that are consuming. Blessed with population of 1.4 billion and growing, the consumption story is here to stay. You look at the larger multinationals, may it be a luxury car brand, a luxury real estate brand, or the smaller brands, all are queuing up to come to the Indian economy. So, what is important for us to really look at is this is the time where a lot of growth will happen. We will grow exponentially for years to come. When we are looking at this exponential growth, here are the multinationals that come to India. The larger companies are competing, and there is a new wave that is happening in India. That is the startup wave. You go to a college probably 10, 15 years back in India and ask the graduates or ask the toppers in the class, where would you like to start your career? What would you like to do? And they would probably say, I want a job in a multinational or I want a job in a large company. You go to campuses today and the best talent says that, listen, I want to start a business. So today, the entrepreneurship spirit that is there in this country, and India is slowly becoming the startup nation of the world. When I say startup nation of the world, a startup or a young company is defined as a unicorn when we get a valuation of $1 billion. Today in India, we have about 125 such companies that have already got a valuation of 125 billion. For so all the young people that are really there, the question is, should I take a job or start something on your own? That's a question that you should really ponder. Also, please remember, don't start a company because everyone is starting the company. Whenever you look at successful startups or successful businesses, why have they been successful? Let's look at that. Very important, they've solved a problem. So today, if you are a young company, you're a young individual that is there, that is graduating, or probably has worked in a company for a couple of years, and that is looking at starting something. Are you solving a problem? Let's look at startups around the world and in India. Some of the biggest startups around the world. Let's look at Uber. Okay, did they solve a problem? Absolutely, Uber solved a problem. Why? Because years and years back, we used to get down of a house, we used to get down of our office, wait for a taxi, and we wouldn't get one. There would be a lot of refusal rate. So here was a solution that came and said that, listen, sit in the comfort of your office or at home, use an app and book a transportation. So were they solving a problem? Absolutely, they were solving a problem. If you look at the food delivery apps, today we can sit in this campus, we can probably sit at home and in office and conveniently order food from various places that is there. So is it a problem they're solving? Yes, there is a problem they're solving. So the first fundamental thing when you start a company is identify a problem and give a solution. Please don't start a company just because everyone else is starting it, or the typical thing, oh, I want to be very rich starting a company. Wealth will follow, wealth creation will follow if the company becomes successful. Unfortunately, the mortality rate. What do you mean by mortality rate? Out of 100 startups, only 3 succeed. So, what does it mean? Only 3% of the companies really succeed. Why do 97 companies fail? They fail because probably they are not catering to a solution. That's the first thing. Second, very, very important, it should be a scalable solution. What do you mean by a scalable solution? You could probably do business the conventional way. What is the conventional way? We would open one shop, open one factory, slowly grow at 10, 15%, probably go to the banker, take a loan, grow slowly. Is there anything wrong in that? Probably nothing. But when you look at the startup ecosystem, you need to grow exponentially. When I say exponentially, you need to grow at 30%, 40%, 50%. How will you grow at 30, 40, 50%? Is if your solution is scalable. How do you make the solution scalable? By using technology. If you look at all the successful startups, they have used technology. In India, we have the best connectivity and the most cost effective internet connectivity in the world. Let me tell you, in the world. So today, you will find a village in India, a man sitting under a banyan tree, probably doesn't have a post office, doesn't have a bank branch, but he has 4G or 5G. When he has 4G, 5G connectivity, he's opened up the market for any technology intervention that is possible. So if you adopt technology in the right way, you are going to give a scalable solution. Very, very important is not what the idea is. It could be an idea, it need not be an original idea. If you look at the successful startups in India, probably there have been startups similar in North America, Europe, other places. What is important? You need to execute the idea in the Indian condition. When I say execute the idea in the Indian condition, you need the right team, the right process, and you need to keep executing. So the key is not an original idea. The key is not some very unique idea. The key is execution, execution, execution. As a founder, it's very, very important for you to have a vision. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to change your consumption pattern? Are you trying to really do something different? So, vision is very important. You are as strong as your team. As they always say, you could be the best cricketer in the world, but you need a team to win matches. The same thing, you could be an excellent promoter, an excellent genius that is there. Unless and until you get the right team on board, it will not really, really work. How do you attract the right team? When you go, or when a startup goes to a college or it goes to a university, people will say, why should I join your startup? People will join your startup if you show them the vision, you show them the scalability, and tell them, this is what I am going to achieve over a period of time. So if you look at the Indian startup ecosystem has evolved over a period of time. As I told you, we have about 125 unicorns, which are over $1 billion of valuation. When you look at the other startups, we have over 60,000 registered startups that are with DPIIT. The government of India is working very hard. And under the guidance of the Honorable Prime Minister, we have what is known as Startup India. They are encouraging entrepreneurs to come, entrepreneurs to work on ideas. What is the kind of encouragement that you will probably get? If you have an idea, they'll support you with funding. What sort of funding? The first could be a grant. A grant is given by the government of India through nodal agencies or through incubation centers, that if you want to develop a technology, you want to develop the software, you want to develop a know-how, use that money of grant to develop that. That's the first part. Second part, they will give you a lot of money in what is known as equity funding, or what we call seed funding, your seed capital. So the government will encourage you by giving you seed funding. So in the ecosystem today, there is a lot of government support that is really there. When you look at the government support, what we have to really do is have a great idea, have the ability to execute, and have the vision. Now, the question is, as I said, only 3% of the startups really succeed. When 3% of the startups succeed, the mortality rates are high. You will need capital. So what really happens is startups work on what is known as valuation basis. Today, if you look at a company and you have to value a company, you would look at the assets it has. What is the assets? The land, the building, etc. You look at a startup and you see the potential it has. So remember, valuation is always forward looking. You never value a startup or a company looking at the rear mirror. You will look at the founder, you will see the vision he or she really, really has, and you will develop that kind of trust in the founder, and you will get a valuation. Today, we often see valuation is a few $1 million to a few $1 billion as well. Is there enough of money in India chasing startups? A lot of people, you all may say that, listen, sir, I have a great idea. Will I get funded? The answer is there is a lot of capital. The question is that capital is waiting for the right company. When I say right company, not the right idea. You have an idea, build a team, execute, show some kind of traction, and then the capital really, really chases you. The Indian capital markets has evolved. In 2025 itself, we've seen so many startups get listed on the National Stock Exchange and the Bombay Stock Exchange. What does it really show? There is a lot of investor appetite that is there. So, what is the right time to start? The right time to start is now. If today any one of you all has a great idea, you have the ability to execute, you got to start now. There is a lot of talk that, how will AI get affected? Will AI lose jobs? What will really happen? AI will be an enabler for startups, not a disruptor. Today, a lot of startups are using AI as a platform to grow their businesses. As I said, the consumption story in India is here to stay. It's going to grow over a period of time. The question is, what part of that consumption story will you be able to really get? For which you will need a good team, you will need a good vision. Very, very important, cash flow is important. What is cash flow? Is basically how are you going to manage your finances. When you acquire customers, there is a cost of acquisition of an customer. If it is any service or any product that you're selling, it is not that we make an app and the customer is going to come download the app and go to buy my service. It will take time. When it takes time, you will have to spend on media, you will have to spend on advertisement, you will have to spend on branding, you will have to do the social media push. All that expenses that are really there is your cost of acquisition of customers. It's very important to understand what my CAC is. You also have a concept of retention rate. What is retention rate? Once a customer avails your service or has come to you, what is the probability that a person keeps retaining that service? Higher the retention rate, lower the cost of acquisition of customers. So when you're doing a startup, it's very important not to look at it as a plain vanilla business that had happened 20 years back. This is a thing in which you will have to get in some amount of scale. When I say scale, what does it mean? Certain amount of customers will have to be on board. When those customers are on board, post which you will really have cash flows flowing in and sustainability really, really happening. As far as promoters are concerned, is there a value proposition for it? Yes, there is a value proposition for it. If you look at all the successful startups that have got listed, when you think about it, it's not some novel idea. No one has gone to the moon and no one has gone to the Mars. It's basic pain points of customers that you have really clarified. What does an investor look at in a startup? Very important, as I said, looks at the founder first. So today, if you're a young man or a girl and wanting and have an idea and you really want some investor to come in, you have nothing to prove, right? You started a company now, you don't know how it will go. He knows that out of 100, 97 will fail. They're aware of those statistics. So why will they put money in your company? Your vision. What do you want to execute? Your knowledge about the industry and your passion. You look at all the successful entrepreneurs that are there, one thing very common with them is the amount of passion they will have. If you have the passion and you want to solve that problem, capital will follow. It will really, really follow. Because remember, as far as the investor is really concerned, whenever he writes a check to you or whenever he gives you money, the price that he pays is what he's paying for the company, but the value is what you deliver in terms of valuation. So as long as you are a startup that takes value system to the customers. What do you mean by value system to the customers? You create value for the customers. You keep your customers happy. It could be in any way. It could be a cost arbitrage. You're giving something cheaper, better technology. You got to keep your vendors happy. You got to keep your investors happy. So, what is the right time to start up? It's today. If any one of you all have an idea and you all really feel that I think I'm passionate about doing something, I think we are in really the golden era of the Indian economy, and this will not get better. Time is now. There is a lot of support. So please start. Please start today and from your journey from a startup to an unicorn. Thank you so much.